Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. This is Joel Perez here, and we're back here once again for another edition of your Monday Night Raw reviews. And it is your Monday Night Raw for the date of October 30th, 2017. Halloween tomorrow, and this edition of Monday Night Raw is probably the scariest thing that you're gonna see all week, bro. My God. This show, it started off well. I'll give you that. It started off well, but by that third hour, like always, this show fell apart. Because that 3-hour format is just god-awful. And we all gotta agree with that one. If this show here tonight was 2 hours, we'd have a damn good show on our hands, because it's just over bloated. The cruiserweights on here. You got a 1-minute match with Kalisto and Drew Gulak. Like, if it's going to be 1 minute, what is it even doing on your show at this point? But a lot of returns here tonight. Samoa Joe, my guy, Samoa Joe returned here tonight. We had the return of the evil witch herself, Stephanie McMahon. My lord, bro. We're going to talk about that. Stephanie McMahon back to the same garbage of belittling every single person in her path. We are going to talk about that to start off this review. Of course, when I get done with my recap and with my plugs, what else did you have on this goddamn show? Braun Strowman, there you go. Braun Strowman is back after 1 week, clearly kayfabe injury after being thrown in that garbage truck, making Braun Strowman look strong, coming back 1 week later, right? And then you got Kane on this show, continuing with the boring, generic garbage that is the Big Red Machine. In 2017, we will talk about that. Decent matches on this show here tonight. You had an Intercontinental Championship matchup. You had a Women's Championship matchup. They were just placed on the show generically. But we will talk about that here tonight. But before we do go into that, we, of course, are talking everything you could have found on the Ringside Wrestling channel over this past week. I'm sorry, so sorry. This is the first time we missed Behind the Mic on a weekend in 42 weeks. And so disappointed in myself. I really did not want to miss a single Behind the Mic, but this weekend was just so busy, so cramped, and I wasn't able to upload Behind the Mic, as well as my laptop was having issues with photos and shit like that. I gotta get that checked out real good, because the photos I usually use for Behind the Mic were not working. They were not going in, so that was an issue in and of itself. I tried to do Behind the Mic. It would not work out, and with the busy weekend I had, just did not cut it, bro. Really did not cut it Behind the Mic. So no Behind the Mic this week, so unfortunately. But on Sunday, we did get a video up, a short 10-minute video. Emma released from the WWE, and Summer Rae as well. That I did not cover. Summer Rae and Darren Young. Really, it's unfortunate, because Summer Rae especially, she really never got a chance to showcase what she was capable of. But Summer Rae is such a solid talent that they really had, and they really did not allow her to showcase what she had. And it's unfortunate that she's gone, but really WWE wasn't going to use her, and it was really just not needed. And the fact that those two were let go was no surprise to me. Emma is a different story. We're talking Emma being released. I was very angry at that news. Still am very angry at that news. Make sure to go check out the video I uploaded on Sunday. One thing I'm not sure if I mentioned on that Sunday video is that Emma, if WWE knew they were going to release Emma, why did she get so much offense against Asuka in her match at TLC and in her match on Monday Night Raw the following night? Why was Emma given so much goddamn offense? Knowing that you were going to release her, that matchup should have been like a minute. You should have made Asuka look super dominant coming in. You have Edge and Christian on their podcasts saying, oh, Asuka, I really haven't seen her in NXT, but based on the 2 matches I've seen on the main roster, I really am not getting what the appeal is as of right now. And that's because you really did not allow Asuka to showcase herself. She just looks like another generic woman, especially if she's hanging in there with Emma. She just looked like another generic woman, and that is a problem. Here tonight, they're starting to rectify that because Asuka did have a jobber matchup, and we will talk about that. But those first 2 matches for Asuka really were not a good showcase. They made her look like any other woman on the roster, and that is not good. That is not good. But besides that, we had Monday Night Raw and Smackdown reviews for last week. Those were up on the channel. Monday Night Raw, under siege last week. That was an exciting edition of Raw, to say the least. I mean, a lot of shit was going on right there. Awful edition of Monday Night Raw, don't get me wrong, but there was excitement to be had right there. Smackdown on Tuesday could not have been more boring. Tomorrow doesn't look to be the case. Tomorrow's Halloween, so knowing that it's a holiday and people are going to be out trick-or-treating and they're not going to be at home for Smackdown, you know WWE's going to slack tomorrow, knowing that it's a holiday. We're going to check that out right there, bro. I'm interested to see what they're going to be doing for Smackdown Live tomorrow with that being a holiday. But, I mean, that's pretty much what was on the Ringside Wrestling channel, Raw and Smackdown. I'm trying to get my career. I have episode 3 just ready to go. I'm not sure if I want to continue my career, though. I did see other people doing my career, and it seems very generic. So I'm not sure if I want to continue that. And at this point, I'm super behind with everybody else, but I'm not sure. I will keep you updated on that. But besides that, ladies and gentlemen, we go to Monday Night Raw. They were in Baltimore, Maryland here tonight, and I mean, it was a show that started off well with nice pacing, with a bunch of matches, and I like that there were a bunch of matches on this show, but because of this 3-hour format, it absolutely fell apart, no doubt about it, and became a dreadful show. It really, really did. It became a dreadful show, and that was capped off by the fact, as I sit in my chair here, that was capped off by the fact that Stephanie McMahon returned here tonight. My God. Kurt Angle had the entire Raw locker room standing on the stage on the beginning of the show, right? So they were all standing on the stage to start off the show, and he was saying that usually he would be out here with a smile on his face, but clearly under these circumstances, after taking his friendship with Shane McMahon for granted, what he thought was a friendly rivalry bit the Raw roster in the back, so he issued them an apology, and that's when the cancer-inducing woman herself, the Witch of Dathomir herself, reference to Star Wars there, the Clone Wars, if you don't know what I'm talking about, but the Witch of Dathomir herself, Stephanie McMahon, bro. Stephanie McMahon came out, and she came out to the chagrin of everybody in the audience, bro. My lord. If you didn't think this show could get any worse, you were wrong. If we continue to see Stephanie McMahon, she left early on this show, thank God. She left early on this show, but, I mean, hopefully she's not going to be on the show week to week to week, like she was when Mick Foley was around, because you already know how much of a miserable authority figure Mick Foley was when he was around, and when Stephanie McMahon was here tonight, she belittled and made Kurt Angle look like an awful authority figure, so hopefully that is not the case. Hopefully she will not be around as much as we've seen her with Mick Foley. Hopefully she will be around when she is necessary. I mean, you can make even the excuse that here tonight she was necessary. She needed to address the attack on Raw made by her brother Shane McMahon. That made sense. It was necessary. have her play a William Regal role on NXT. William Regal only appears on NXT when he is necessary. He doesn't make any appearances just to be there. That's not what William Regal does. When William Regal has something to say, he will say it. He's not going to be like, here tonight on NXT, we have all these matches lined up and go to the back. No, the matches will happen. He's going to make an announcement when an announcement needs to be made. He will make an appearance on television when an appearance on television needs to be made. And that's the way I like it, bro. Besides that, Stephanie McMahon, she came out saying that this is no way to kick off Raw, giving her a cringe-inducing start. She's like, welcome to Monday Night Raw. Absolutely awful. She promoted the 25-year special edition of Raw in January, which is looking up to be a cool Monday Night Raw. You have them going back to the Manhattan Center, the Hammerstein Ballroom in the Manhattan Center. I don't know how they're going to work this show out. They're going to be in the Barclays Center and the Hammerstein Ballroom. So I think we're going to get half modern Raw, half old school Raw. So when we're at the Hammerstein Ballroom, I'm supposing that it's going to be the old Raw stage, and they've already confirmed, or on Raw. I hate how they confirm it on WWE.com, that legends like The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, and I don't know who the hell else they confirmed, but they've confirmed a bunch of legends going to be there, and I'm supposing that those guys are going to be at the Hammerstein Ballroom, while the current roster is going to be at the Barclays Center, just so WWE could get their ticket sales. If you ask me, the entire show should be at the Hammerstein Ballroom. Those smaller venues really give it a more intimate feel, if you know what I mean. You saw that in the UK tournament earlier this year, if you want a WWE example of that. Intimate crowd, really, really good show. Really, really good UK crowd. Wherever they were in the UK, I seem to forget right now, but I'd love there to be a Monday Night Raw exclusively in the Hammerstein Ballroom, but that doesn't seem to be the case, and that's alright. That's alright, I get it. They want to sell their tickets. They ain't selling shit anyways. They'll sell out a New York crowd just because it's New York. New York is clearly a wrestling city. I'm from New York, so I would know that, but I mean, besides that, really, I wish they had it exclusively in the Hammerstein Ballroom, but it's going to be across two venues, which is clearly unique for Raw. Raw takes place at one venue, usually. But since this is the 25th annual celebration for Raw, clearly they're going to do something a little bit different. But besides that, Stephanie McMahon. Let's continue what Stephanie McMahon was saying here. She started talking about how Kurt Angle has been a great general manager, being able to deal with situations like finding out he has and if I can speak here, that would be absolutely phenomenal. He has an illegitimate son in Jason Jordan, a virus going around the Raw locker room, Braun Strowman being thrown in a garbage truck, and even joining the Shield in battle. He's done all those things. He's been able to handle all those things. That's when she starts cutting Kurt Angle down. And that's what Stephanie McMahon always does. She goes through your accomplishments, right? She lifts you up. She lifts your spirit a little bit. And then as soon as you feel good, bam, swats you right down, bro. My God. It is awful. It is absolutely awful. My God. Yeah, let's put a Seth Rollins into perspective. Oh, Seth Rollins, you've done some great stuff in your career. First ever NXT champion, former two-time WWE champion, major success with the Shield, but at the same time, you're shitty in that ring. You have no success, or you suck outside of the Shield. You have no goddamn personality. I don't even know what a Seth freaking Rollins is. And my God, you really need to dye your hair blonde again because you look shit with black hair. That's some shit Stephanie McMahon would say, bro. That's the type of thing Stephanie McMahon does. Continuing here, and this is when she started goddamn tearing down on Kurt Angle. She said Angle allowed his niceness to make Raw look vulnerable because Shane McMahon lost his Hell in a Cell match, and he looked impressive, yeah, but he lost. And he needed to pick on something to feed his ego. So he went for Monday Night Raw. He went for the 25-year legacy of Raw, and one person allowed that to happen, and it was Kurt Angle. Angle allowed his niceness to make Raw look vulnerable, so he is going to be given one chance to redeem himself as captain. She starts talking about how Angle has these three eyes: integrity, intelligence, and intensity. But there should be four eyes, and that fourth one should be incompetence, because that's what Kurt Angle showed last week. Blobbity blobbity. You already know the deal, right? So she proclaims him captain of the Raw Survivor Series team. And if he doesn't win, we can expect a new Raw general manager. So there you go. There you go. So Kurt Angle's going to be fired. And that really, if that is the case, that makes the Survivor Series match so predictable, if you ask me, bro. I mean, do you really think Kurt Angle is going to be fired from his general manager position? Unless, and that would add a cool twist to it, unless Kurt Angle is going to be stepping in the ring more often and he is going to become an in-ring competitor. And we know he's already been in the match with the Shield. He's going to be in the match at Survivor Series. He's possibly going to have, he's going to have a WrestleMania match. That's pretty much nothing but confirmed here. And Royal Rumble maybe, but if he does lose the general manager position, that can make him a part-time superstar. Like, really, are you really going to have Kurt Angle feuding with these superstars and at the same time being Raw general manager? It really doesn't make much sense. It really doesn't. And in order for him to go into these feuds with these superstars, it would be better if he was a part-time superstar. So maybe he will lose the Raw general manager position. But I don't think that's going to happen just yet. I really don't. So that really does make the Survivor Series matchup predictable, because you know Raw is going to win. And the women's team for Monday Night Raw better win, because Asuka is probably going to be on that team as well. Matter of fact, Asuka really should be on that team, if you ask me. So, I mean, Raw is going to win both 5-on-5 matches. Probably going to win the Brock Lesnar matchup. I see them winning that. I don't know. What are the other matches? Sheamus and Cesaro, or not Sheamus and Cesaro. Rollins and Ambrose versus the Usos. That could go either way. That's the one I'm excited for. Alexa Bliss versus Natalya. Why that is even a matchup at this show makes no goddamn sense to me. But, I mean, really, Raw is already winning 3 matches at this show. That sounds lopsided if you ask me. But Kurt Angle, moving on to the next segment here. Kurt Angle was putting Stephanie in her car trying to apologize like a little bitch. She said that she meant everything she said and that you could just ask Mick Foley that. So throwing jabs at Mick Foley there. She thankfully left. Thank the Lord. The Miz then came out of his limo, arriving late with Dallas and Axel. So, Dallas, was it, who was sick? He's back. He's back. So, he's back from his sickness. But apparently, Roman Reigns is not, because Roman Reigns was not on this show. But Miz asked if he missed anything important. Angle told him that Stephanie McMahon showed up and made him captain of the Raw Survivor Series team. Miz starts yelling, asking why she would appoint an awful general manager such as Kurt as a captain. It's like rules don't apply for this guy. That's when Angle explodes, saying that Miz is not worthy of a representative of the Raw brains going into Survivor Series. So tonight he will defend against the Intercontinental title, and he won't know who the opponent is until he goes out there because he didn't bother to show up on time. Matt Hardy gets that opportunity. What Matt Hardy has done to deserve an Intercontinental Championship shot is beyond me. But Monday Night Raw, WWE's logic. Gotta be kidding me. Alicia Fox versus Bayley. This matchup doesn't even happen. Alicia Fox came out with the goddamn captain's hat, cutting the cringiest promo I've ever seen, saying that since she doesn't have time for a match with all her captain's duty, she has found a suitable replacement. Out comes Nia Jax. So Nia Jax has returned. As we all know, Nia Jax was on a hiatus from the WWE. She was taking a little break. Alexa Bliss was saying that she was burnt out, and that's the reason why she was not on Raw, but she is now back. She has taken her little break. She's refreshed, and she fought Bayley here tonight, and she won. Clearly, she won. Bayley has been booked like shit. Nia is making a return. Who do you think is going to win? Nia clearly beat Bayley. She hit a cool rolling senton type move while Bayley was seated. That looked cool. And she followed that up with the leg drop to win the matchup. And then after the matchup, Alicia Fox was like, you're on my team. So there you go. And Nia Jax was pointing to her head saying, yeah, that's a smart choice. You're damn right it's a smart choice. But realistically, Bayley's going to be in this. And Sasha is going to be in this. So what's the point of even having Bayley in this matchup with Nia Jax, acting like if this is a #1 contenders matchup to get into Survivor Series? Like, you know Bayley's going to be in this matchup, especially with the release of Emma, which makes no goddamn sense to me still. Samoa Joe, came back. And I was happier than ever to see this be the case, bro. I started laughing my ass off in joy that Samoa Joe was back here tonight. And he cut a promo saying that judging by the response when he came out here, which was really nice response, crowd was chanting Joe. And he was like, judging on the response when he came out here, some of the crowd have clearly missed him. That got a huge ovation from the crowd. And he took a nice pause, and this just shows how good Samoa Joe is on the mic. He took a nice pause, and then he's like, I certainly did not miss you. And he starts asking how many of them reached out to tell him that they cared, and the answer to that would be none of them. He said that when he is in the ring, he is going to pretending that it is each and every single member of the crowd. So who's in the ring with Samoa Joe here tonight? Apollo Crews. I would have given Samoa Joe the Intercontinental Championship matchup. I mean, really, he would have been better than Matt Hardy, who's been doing nothing on Monday Night Raw. You have failed to book Matt Hardy competently, so why not put Samoa Joe in there? Samoa Joe would kill The Miz, and I don't think you're looking to take the title off of The Miz, but really, I would have. Because The Miz versus Baron Corbin sounds absolutely atrocious. But Joe won this matchup with Apollo Crews. Decent matchup. He won it with the Coquina Clutch. That's when Titus O'Neil stepped in. Him and Joe had a little stare down before Titus O'Neil went to check on Apollo Crews. And you never turn your back to Samoa Joe, because Samoa Joe within seconds had the Coquina Clutch locked in on Mr. Titus Worldwide. So there you go. The Miz versus Matt Hardy. This was a good matchup. This was a very good matchup. And this has me wondering why Matt Hardy isn't broken, why this guy isn't being booked on Raw in a good position. I mean, damn, he put on a good matchup. Both these guys earned their paycheck here tonight, bro. Miz could put on a good match. Hardy could put on a good match, and that's exactly what they did. Yet, there's no reason for this matchup to have been happening over an Intercontinental Championship. This was booked out of nowhere and given no attention whatsoever. It's an Intercontinental Championship matchup. The Universal title isn't even on your goddamn brand right now. At least not being defended, that is. It won't be defended until the Royal Rumble. And the Intercontinental Championship is being defended on Monday Night Raw. First of all, out of nowhere, with no warning whatsoever, and in a non-highlighted position. This should have been the main event of Monday Night Raw. Instead, it's in the middle of the show with nobody giving half a shit. That's not right. And if you have this show with no Intercontinental, or with no main card championship, I should say, that should not be the case. And this is where WWE comes off with this illogical booking. It makes no goddamn sense. But this was a damn good matchup, because at one point in this matchup, Matt Hardy hit a picture-perfect moonsault off the top for a near fall. He also hit the twist of fate, but Miz rolled to the ropes, stunned Matt Hardy on the ropes, and he went for the skull-crushing finale to finish off the matchup. And that is it for Matt Hardy. I say you take this loss of the Intercontinental Championship or in the Intercontinental Championship matchup, make something good out of it, have this spiral Matt Hardy to become broken. Please do it. I mean, Anthem is in no position, or Anthem, GFW, Impact Wrestling, is in no goddamn position to be holding WWE over for this broken gimmick anymore. They're really not. That company is in an absolute clusterfuck. You can totally do a broken gimmick if you wanted to, a woken gimmick if you wanted to, bro. Really, you should. GFW is in shambles right now. My God. Alexa Bliss came into Kurt Angle's office, kissing up, and saying that it's time some big changes are made to the women's division. You're damn right some big changes need to be made to the women's division, because the way WWE is booking the women's division is absolutely atrocious. She said that you can easily bring anybody in from the Mae Young Classic or even dig Mae Young up. Yeah, I'm sure that comment ruffled up a few feathers. Speaking of comments that ruffled up a few feathers, almost forgot to mention this in the beginning of the show. Lio Rush, former indie star, recently signed to NXT, is already ruffling up some feathers, because during Emma's release, he tweeted something, and he was like, oh, I guess that's what happens when you're not ready for Asuka. Clearly referencing Emma's release. And a bunch of WWE superstars hit him up butthurt. Really, it wasn't a bad comment. It really wasn't too offensive if you ask me. But then again, you really shouldn't be joking about that. And it was wrong. But the way these superstars responded to him really was rough. How old is he? 22 years old? Guys, very, very young. You're going to make mistakes. A lot of mistakes at that age. You are. You really are. I'm still making mistakes. Everybody is making mistakes. And especially at that age, you're going to be making mistakes. You are. And they fucking addressed this guy like if he was going to be slaughtered, bro. You had Oney Lorcan tweeting him, I believe, saying that when he gets in a ring with Lio Rush, he's going to stiff him or something like that. Bray Wyatt tweeting him, you're not going to make it in here with the Wolves. Peyton Royce saying, didn't you just get here? Show some respect. Rosa Mendes, who isn't even employed, telling him to show some respect. Just absolutely tearing this guy apart. He just got here. He's clearly going to make mistakes. He's living in the spotlight. He said something dumb. He apologized for it as well. He made a follow-up to apologizing for it. He messed up multiple times in the grammar, and Jack Gallagher told him to show some respect, think before he tweets, something like that, and to take the English classes at the Performance Center. So they absolutely shit on this guy. So unfortunate that Lio Rush, who's amazing in that ring, you look at his matches on the indies, absolutely amazing in that ring. Just so unfortunate that Lio Rush is making stupid moves like this. Probably going to be jobbing some matches in NXT, paying his dues in NXT before he does become anything too great after this comment. Because really, they don't want you. You got to be walking on eggshells in this day and age on WWE. They don't want you commenting, making controversial comments. You got to be very careful with what you say, especially when you're in the position of a Lio Rush, who really has no pull, no say in the WWE, because he just got there. They're right. He just got there. He said something dumb, but to be shitting on this guy like that, it's kind of harsh. That's all I got to say about that. Anyways, Angle said Alexa's right, because while superstars like Mickie James were fighting, while Raw was under siege, Alexa Bliss was nowhere to be found. He makes Alexa Bliss versus Mickie James in the main event. Why don't you bring Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, speaking of shaking up the women's division? Bring Peyton Royce and Billie Kay up from NXT. Why not? Especially to the SmackDown Raw. Bro, the SmackDown roster needs some refreshing. It is absolutely disgusting on SmackDown Live. So stale, same matches over and over again to the point where we've seen the same Fatal 5-Way like 3 times. It's awful. Shake that shit up. Asuka versus a jobber. This was great. Finally, Asuka was in the matchup she should have debuted in. She absolutely demolished this jobber, and the crowd responded appropriately. The crowd was hype. They were ready for Asuka. They really, really were. It was cool. It really was. Asuka finally got to showcase what she was capable of. She looked dominant. Something you couldn't say she looked like at TLC or on Monday Night Raw last week against Emma, who was on her way out of the WWE at that point anyways. Disgusting. Daniel Bryan showed up on Raw, which would ultimately bite him in the ass. We'll talk about that very, very shortly. But he set Kurt on alert. Kurt had a fucking walkie-talkie, and he was like, they're here, when he seen Daniel Bryan, right? But Daniel Bryan came without the SmackDown roster, with Daniel saying that he had nothing to do with the situation last week, and he didn't approve of it, as he told Shane on Tuesday. Angle was just on high alert. He's like, bro, please, do not, just get away. Leave, bro. We don't want you here. This is war. That's pretty much what Angle was saying. But we went to commercial break. We went to do some shit, and Daniel Bryan was locked in the dark, talking on the phone with I don't know who. I'm not sure. If any of you know, leave it in the comment section below. But he was frustrated, thinking he can reason with Angle until Kane came in the dark and chokeslammed him. So Daniel Bryan taking a bump, bro. Taking his first bump in the WWE in a goddamn while. That's what I found interesting about this. Besides that, Daniel Bryan attacked on Raw. There you go. He was actually stretchered out of Monday Night Raw and taken to a hospital. So that's clearly adding tension to this entire Raw versus SmackDown thing. And I bet Daniel Bryan is going to be more on Shane's side. But we go to Finn Balor versus Cesaro. This match was okay, but very basic for what we know these two could do in that ring. Really disappointed. There was a cool spot where Cesaro picked Balor up off the apron from the second rope and hit a beautiful suplex from the second. Besides that, Sheamus tried to take Balor down, but he paid for it with an enziguri and hit a coup de grace to the back of Cesaro's head for the win. So there you go. The Miz was preparing to celebrate for his successful title defense before he found a trash bag in his locker room with Miz saying that Braun Strowman is here because Braun Strowman was thrown in the garbage. Well, Miz, you're a great detective because by the end of the night, Braun Strowman was there and he came out of a goddamn garbage truck. Kane versus Seth Rollins. This match was a Kane match. Boring and generic. Kane, for some reason, won. And by the way, before this match even started, he took Finn Balor, who was celebrating his victory, and he tombstoned him on the ramp. So Kane once again terrorizing Finn Balor. But Kane here tonight beat Seth Rollins. Yes, he beat Seth Rollins after Seth Rollins went for Sheamus and Cesaro, who for some odd reason were still ringside for this matchup after the Finn Balor matchup. And Rollins jumped into a chokeslam for the loss. After the matchup, Rollins and Ambrose both took tombstones from Kane. I don't know why the hell Kane, this 50-year-old Kane with saggy tits coming out of his goddamn attire, is still being posed as a viable threat. I hear people saying that this is meant to honor Kane since he's been here for 20 years in the WWE. This is going to be one last run for Kane. Who cares? Who gives a fuck if this is an honorary run for Kane? He shouldn't be going through all this talent. Finn Balor last week, Seth Rollins this week. Who's next, bro? I know it's all to give Braun Strowman a win, but can't he be squashing a Kurt Hawkins and Apollo Crews a Kalisto, somebody from the Cruiserweight division who isn't doing anything? Can't you do that? Why does it have to be big name superstars like Seth Rollins and Finn Balor? You're kidding me. Daniel Bryan was then stretchered out of Monday Night Raw after that segment. The Miz, he seen Kane in the back and told him that he thinks Braun Strowman is back, with Kane saying that he remembers The Miz and Sheamus and Cesaro were helping him throw Strowman in the back of a garbage truck. Kane says that if Strowman wants to fight him, he knows where to find him. Miz is like, okay, so we're on the same team. And Kane starts laughing. Ha 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 ha. Me and you not on the same team. Gallows and Anderson versus Rhino and Heath Slater in a trick or street fight. Gallows and Anderson versus Rhino and Heath Slater in a trick or street fight. Gallows and Anderson versus Rhino and Heath Slater in a trick or street fight. Let's move on here. The Miz was talking to Sheamus and Cesaro about the garbage bag he found, with Sheamus and Cesaro saying that there's no way that Strowman recovered from that in a week, with Miz saying that it's nice to be a part of a strong team. Sheamus and Cesaro then start laughing just like Kane did, saying that they are no team. The Miz then calls Dallas and Axel, telling him that they are leaving. So there you go. Elias sung the ballad of Jason Jordan as a replay of the guitar shot from last week replayed. Elias still getting amazing heel heat. Jason Jordan came out, no tape or everything, did not sell the injury at all, just held his arm at the ramp. And besides that, he was the same old Jason Jordan doing belly to bellies and all this shit in the ring. But he cleared the ring of Elias and broke his guitar. So there you go. Elias going to need a third new guitar. One was wasted on Finn Balor in the summer. A second one wasted against Jason Jordan last week. And the third one here tonight. So, what a waste of wood, right? Kevin Dunn is crying because they're wasting wood. We move on to Kalisto versus Drew Gulak. This match went a minute. Kalisto hit the Salida del Sol. That's it. You gotta be kidding me with the booking of this Cruiserweight division. Absolutely god-awful. Alexa Bliss versus Mickie James. Another championship matchup on this show that was booked out of the blue and had no emphasis put on it. I was actually saying, okay, maybe Mickie James is actually going to win the Women's Championship in this matchup because we are going into Survivor Series. Natalya is the champion on SmackDown Live. Alexa Bliss is the champion on Monday Night Raw. Well, that's not a good fit. A heel versus a heel, that's not a good fit. So maybe we're going to get Mickie James winning the title face champion. None of that happened. Alexa Bliss won this matchup, which compared in no way to what they did at TLC. What they did at TLC was a lot better, if you ask me. Here tonight, it was okay, but nothing compared to what they did at TLC. It was a boring, generic Monday Night Raw match that you're going to see in the third hour. It didn't even feel like a main event, and it wasn't a main event. Because as soon as Alexa Bliss hit a forearm to win this matchup, didn't even hit the DDT or the Twisted Bliss. She hit a forearm, which I like it. I like the diverse finishers, but she hit the forearm, knocked out Mickie James. 1, 2, 3, Alexa Bliss wins clean. I like that the champion is winning clean. I enjoy that, blobbity blobbity. Still wasn't a good match. Still was a championship match made out of the blue. Still shouldn't have been a main event. Like I said, the main event should have been Matt Hardy versus The Miz, but that's besides the point. Clearly didn't fit into what they wanted to do, because The Miz, he and Axel and Dallas, they made it to the limousine. They're like, drive, drive, drive. And a red garbage truck, and I don't know why this garbage truck was red, bro. Why does it need to be a red garbage truck? Why couldn't it have been resembling the garbage truck we saw at TLC? It makes no sense. So, Braun Strowman was transferred from garbage truck to garbage truck? Are you kidding me? That makes zero sense. A red garbage truck, bro. Oh, this show, bro. Red for Monday Night Raw? Is that what they were doing? You gotta be kidding me, bro. Anyways, garbage starts spilling out of this truck. We see Miz and Axel and Dallas scared, telling the driver open the door. For some reason, the door wouldn't open. I don't know. But we then cut to Braun Strowman rising up, and he does the big roar. Miz, Axel, and Dallas go running. Braun Strowman goes up the limousine. He was on top of the limousine, chasing after them. They make their way out to the stage, right? And Braun Strowman absolutely starts demolishing these guys. He takes Miz, Axel, and Dallas. He throws them down the ramp like fucking barrels, bro. It's Donkey Kong with his barrels. And he's throwing them down the ramp, right? And he takes Curtis Axel. Curtis Axel was the unlucky victim. Miz was on the ramp, outside the ring, but inside the ring, Axel got power slammed 4 times inside the ring, and he took Axel, threw him outside, picked him up, dragged him all the way to the announce table, and did a power slam through the announce table as Miz and Dallas ran off to end off Monday Night Raw. So there you go. Braun Strowman is back after a week of not being there. Samoa Joe returned here tonight. Stephanie McMahon returned here tonight. Thankfully, somebody who we did not want to see, Roman Reigns, did not return here tonight. So there you go. Monday Night Raw. Really not too good a show here tonight. The show fell apart by the 3rd hour. No doubt about it. No sugarcoating here, bro. Really just not too interesting a show. But besides that, you know what is interesting? Everything going on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. So you guys should make sure to subscribe to the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel for everything regarding the WWE, Raw reviews, Smackdown reviews, pay-per-view reviews, No Mercy, WWE TLC, there you go, was reviewed last Sunday. Make sure to go check that one out. Behind the Mic, each and every single week, except for this week, we missed our first Behind the Mic after 42 weeks. Crazy stuff. Oh, after almost a year, bro. My lord. So, make sure to go check out all that other content. And, of course, make sure to like this video if you enjoy what you're hearing here. Make sure to comment what you thought of Monday Night Raw here tonight. And, of course, make sure to subscribe to the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed yet, I do not know what you are waiting for. Oh, and yeah, make sure to go check out the Twitter account of the same name. We were live tweeting with Monday Night Raw here tonight. And we had interesting stuff going on the Twitter of the same name, Ringside Wrestling. So make sure to go check out all that other content, because for now, this has been Joel Perez over Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. And for now, I am out of here. Thank you very, very much for watching this video. For now, I will see you tomorrow on your spooky Halloween edition of Smackdown Live.